Hey friends, welcome to the channel. If you need to learn a language fast, then this is the right video for you. Los geht's! My name is Dustin. I'm an IT project manager from Germany. On this channel we create content that helps us to be more productive, to learn new things, especially languages, and to live a happier and more fulfilling life. Today we're going to talk about the question that I've heard very often, which is, if you would need to learn a language super fast, how would you do it? Well, I would say don't, but if you really need to learn a language fast, then let's talk. A quick disclaimer, this video is sponsored by LingQ for the Black Friday sale. But before we start, let's have a nice sip of coffee. Los geht's! What does it mean to learn a language fast? So first of all, we should be sure of what we are talking about here. What does learn a language fast mean for you? What do you want or need to do with it? What specific skill are we talking about? Is it just comprehension, or do you also need to be able to talk? For this video, let's say we need to focus on being able to speak and also comprehend the language, mainly in spoken and secondly in written form. So I've asked myself that question. Normally I would take my time to build up a solid comprehension before I would start to speak. But maybe you got no time and need to get speaking right from the get-go. There could be many reasons for that. Like for example that you're doing a semester in a different country for studies, or you need to immigrate to a different country because of war, climate crisis or other catastrophes. Or you want to help someone who migrates to your country to get integrated quickly. It could be also a job opportunity for a company from a different country, where it would be super beneficial to be able to speak the language. Whatever it is, we now have a strong why we should learn the language. So really learn a language, you'll need anyway lots of time. But to get going in case of an emergency, that can be sped up for sure. First of all, we need to make sure to spend as much time as possible with the language in the short time span we have. So as close to a full immersion as possible, and I can promise you already it'll be painful, because you won't be able to express yourself properly for quite some time. Since we don't have much time to just assimilate the grammar the natural way, like a child would do with massive exposure to spoken word, we also need to stack the decks in our favor, and I would advocate for using an app like Language Transfer or Pimsleur very extensively, like daily for an hour or so, and then repeating the stuff in our head over and over again. This will allow you to construct the language without yet having it internalized using comprehensible input. Especially when it comes to speaking, this will help you tremendously. I've already made a video about language transfer, and you can also find it somewhere here. And then also very early write a conversation script, ideally by using the IPA, the International Phonetic Alphabet, but only if possible. Make sure to verify if there are any errors in the script by giving it to a native speaker to check. Also ask for the native speaker to record her or himself when reading out loud your script. Then memorize and shadow it until you sound like a native speaker. This will do miracles for you. In general, is shadowing one of the best exercises to develop a good accent and also to internalize full chunks of language that you can spontaneously use in context without thinking about it. That means you can proceed doing shadowing exercises by picking a YouTube video which is spoken colloquially in your target language and fully memorize it. For that, I can highly recommend you the Easy Languages channels. If you want to know how to do that, I've also already made another video about it, and you can find it somewhere here. Once you have at least the conversation script under your belt, you can already start having one-on-one conversations with native speakers, like for example on italki. I would opt for 1 hour per day at least. You can of course also opt for 2 times 30 minutes, which will make it a little bit less daunting. If you want to know how to do that in detail, I've already made another video about that, and you can also find it somewhere here. What we can and should also do is to learn the most frequent words of the language by either using a free flashcard app like Anki for example, or you can also use Speakly that has all the most important words in context already built in. I've just made another test video about this app, and you can also find it here. Other than that, of course, still in all the free time you have in between, you should immerse yourself and read and listen to content, especially during all the dead time, like when we are commuting to work or cleaning our apartment. Now, very important, if the language you want to learn has a different alphabet or script and you need only to be able to communicate verbally, it can make sense to use crutches for the reading. What do I mean by that? For example, Pidgin for Chinese. And this way you can read Chinese using the Latin alphabet instead of learning thousands of signs. It's great to do such a sprint, but then at some point, once you are able to do the most important things in the target language, you should probably try to get into a more sustainable mode. Of course, if you enjoy it and just want to further fully immerse, that's great, but if not and your life suffers, then you can also tone it back a bit. Learning languages should be something that enriches your life and that you can enjoy. If I want to learn a language, I always first spend a lot of time just assimilating it by consuming massive amounts of comprehensible and compelling input, which means to read, listen and watch tons of interesting content that is at the right level for me. And this leads me also to the sponsor of this video, which is LingQ. This application I'm using now for several years and I have already learned 4 languages using it. It'll allow you to find for 45 languages a ton of different content, and what's even better is that you can also import your own content, for example from YouTube, Netflix, ebooks, articles, podcasts, for which it can even generate automatic transcripts for you. The app has an integrated database that saves all the words you know already and also the ones you don't know yet by heart. Also, it gives you translations for words and even phrases in context, as well as it also shows you statistics and makes your progress visible. And this is super important because language learning is a marathon, not a sprint. And it's important to stay motivated over the long run because sometimes it doesn't feel like we are making progress. Even, in fact, we do. LingQ has truly changed the way how I learn languages now, and I'm spending way less time nowadays memorizing words by heart and instead enjoying the process. After I've spent a fair amount of time with the language this way, typically several hundreds of hours, when I start to speak, I already understand everything what my interlocutor is saying, and thus it's way easier to respond, and it also stresses me out much less. If you are interested in LingQ, I've put a link in the description as well as in the comment section, and you can get a 40% discount for the yearly subscription as part of the Black Friday sale. The promotion is limited for the time from the 22nd to the 26th of November. So even in a time where everything gets faster and faster, I would advise to take your time and just let the language sink in. Don't try to learn too many languages at the same time and put in the hours. All the good things take time. Okay, now I've said time 3 times in a row. I did it again. Okay, if you like this video and want to learn more about LingQ, have a look at this playlist here. Or if you currently have to save some money, I also already made a video about the best free language learning app here. Please let me know if you need to learn a language fast and how you would approach that. If you found the video useful, also please leave me a like and a subscription to the channel, and to not miss anything going forward, click also on the notification bell. Thank you so much for watching and see you the next time.